Hi there, it's day 2 of week something or other of 52 weeks of vlogging. I think we're talking about week 20, but I'm not sure. Yesterday, I did a bunch of crunches. Badly. Really badly. So badly that my neck is sore everywhere. So I thought that today would probably be a good idea to do a little tutorial on how to do crunches properly. Because I actually know how to do crunches properly, which makes it even more embarrassing that I did them so badly. Now, before I start talking about crunches, I want to talk a little bit about the musculature of the abdomen. You have 4 layers of muscles. The innermost layer are the transverse muscles, which run sideways this way. Then you've got the rectus abdominis, which runs from here down to here. That's what basically forms your six-pack. And then you've got 2 layers of obliques, from the top outside to the bottom inside, and from the bottom outside to the top inside. The first thing is that when you're doing crunches, you need a yoga mat or some kind of soft surface like carpet, and you need to lie down on your back. So, when you're doing crunches, there are lots of different ways to do them. You can do straight up crunches like this. You can do crunches where you're crossing your legs, like this. Or you can bend your knees and put your hands up on your shoulders, and then do crunches where you bring one shoulder towards the opposite knee, like this. It's a really good idea to mix up your styles of crunches within each workout so that you're working all those different layers and not just your rectus abdominis, which is pretty much the only one that you use when you're doing this. Some people say that you should never do crunches with your legs straight. Other people say that you should never do them with your legs bent. I say, who gives a crap? It really doesn't make that much of a difference, and a combination of the two is actually probably what's best. When you're doing crunches, from your butt to your shoulders and the back of your head, you should be lying down flat on the floor to begin with. A lot of people will advise you to put your hands behind your head to do crunches, but I don't think that's a good idea at all, because if you put your hands behind your head, then you'll end up pushing your head forward and straining your head forward when you're doing your crunches, and that's actually not what you're supposed to be doing at all. What you want to be doing when you're doing your crunches is using these muscles, not these muscles. And when I have my hands behind my head, I always end up pushing my head forward, and that's just bad form. So I like to put my hands on my stomach or sometimes down at my side. I'll put them down at my side for the purposes of illustration today, just so you can see what's going on. You can also cross your arms over your chest. That's fine too. You want to make sure your shoulders are flat against the floor. And what I'm going to do, so that you can see what's going on, is put this little white dye right there on my stomach. Because when a lot of people do crunches, they do them like this. I'll move the dye back a little bit so you can see even better. That's bad. See how the dye's moving up and down when I do my crunches? I'll do another one. No. Basically, when you're doing your crunches, if you're letting that dye move up and down, then what you're doing is you're pulling your ribs in, and you're using all the muscles in between your ribs, but you're puffing these muscles out. And when you're doing crunches, the whole point is to keep these muscles in so that they get tighter, not to puff them out so that they stay nice and big and loose. So, what you want to do with your crunches are 3 things. Number 1, you want to keep your neck long and level and not strain your head forward with it. You don't want to use these muscles. These muscles should stay fairly relaxed. Number 2, you want to keep your shoulders back. And number 3, you want to think about tightening these muscles, not puffing them out and tightening these muscles. You want to imagine bringing your whole rib cage down towards your hips. So I'll do a few of those like that so that you can watch the dye and see that it's actually not moving. If anything, the dye is getting lower on every crunch, and that's a good thing. That means you're taking these muscles and you're tightening them when you crunch and not puffing them out. I'll show you what I was doing yesterday that ended up making my neck so sore. Watch my head. See how I'm straining up towards the ceiling with my head? The die isn't moving, but my head is moving too much. That's what makes your neck sore. But if you keep focused on these muscles and on imagining a string pulling the back of your head out that way, then you'll end up with a good crunch that won't leave your neck sore and that'll leave these muscles feeling nice and tight and toned. That pretty much wraps up my tutorial on crunches, I think. There might be something I didn't cover, so if you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll see you down there. In the meantime, thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.